Gamers, welcome back to EPG-Every Platform Gamer, the channel where we cover gaming news and do deep dives across PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC, all of it. Kirby and the Forgotten Land delivers a narrative that is deceptively simple on the surface but gradually unfolds with a surprising amount of emotional and thematic depth. The premise begins with Kirby being pulled through a mysterious void into a strange post-apocalyptic world that blends overgrown natural environments with the ruins of the long-lost civilization. From the outset, the story is driven by a clear and accessible objective: rescue captured Waddle Dees from the hostile group known as the Beast Pack. While this initial goal may seem basic, the storytelling slowly expands through environmental design rather than heavy dialogue. Abandoned shopping centres, crumbling factories and eerie theme parks all contribute to a sense of history that player pieces together organic. The introduction of Elflin, Kirby's companion, provides emotional grounding. Their relationship evolves subtly throughout the game, culminating in a finale that adds unexpected weight to the narrative, especially in later story revelation. The Switch 2 edition enhances the narrative package further with the Star-Crossed World expansion, introducing a new campaign triggered by a mysterious meteor. This adds fresh lore and extends the story beyond its original conclusion, giving returning players more reason to engage with the world. While it never becomes overly complex, the game's story stands out for its tone shift, from cheerful exploration to moments of eerie mystery and emotional payoff, making it one of the more memorable entries in the Kirby series. At its core, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a 3D platformer that translates the series' familiar mechanics into a fully explorable environment. This transition is one of its greatest successes. Movement feels intuitive, the level progression is straightforward, and the game maintains a strong sense of flow across its stages. The basic loop is tightly designed: enter a level, explore multiple pathways, defeat enemies, and complete optional objectives, and rescue Waddle Dees. Each stage encourages replayability through hidden challenges and mission-based objectives, ensuring that completionists have plenty to pursue. The pacing deserves particular praise. Levels are structured to balance platforming, combat, and light puzzle solving in a way that rarely feels repetitive. The experience is accessible for newcomers, but still engaging for experienced players, aim for full completion, especially in optional challenges and post-game content. On Switch 2, gameplay benefits directly from technical improvements, particularly the jump to 60 frames per second. This makes movement smoother and significantly improves responsiveness in faster segments, such as time trials or high-speed transformation. The mechanics in Forgotten Land are built around Kirby's iconic copy ability system, which allows him to inhale enemies and mimic their powers. These abilities have been expanded and refined, offering a wide range of playstyles from melee-focused attacks to ranged projectiles and environmental manipulation. The key innovation is Mouthful Mode, where Kirby can engulf large objects such as cars, vending machines, or traffic cones, and use them in creative ways. This mechanic introduces puzzle elements and spectacle moments that constantly refresh the gameplay. Abilities can also be upgraded, adding depth and progression to combat. This system encourages experimentation and allows players to tailor their approach to different challenges. The Switch 2 edition expands these mechanics slightly through new abilities and interactions, introducing the Star-Crossed World content, though the core gameplay remains faithful to the original. Visually, Kirby and the Forgotten Land stands out for its unique blend of charm and decay. Bright, colourful character models contrast the environments inspired by abandoned human structures, creating a distinct aesthetic identity. On the original Switch, the game was already visually appealing, but limited by hardware constraints. The Switch 2 version improves resolution significantly, reaching up to 1440p in docked mode and offering crisp image clarity. Anti-aliasing techniques have also been introduced, reducing jaggies and jagged edges and giving the image a cleaner, more polished look. While textures themselves are not dramatically overhauled, the overall visual presentation benefits from improved clarity, light instability, and smoother rendering, resulting in noticeably enhanced experience. The Switch 2 upgrade introduces several meaningful improvements that elevate the experience without fundamentally changing the game. The most impactful change is the move from 30 frames per second second to a stable 60 FPS, effectively doubling performance and greatly improving fluidity. Resolution enhancements make the game sharper, with dynamic scaling allowing both docked and handheld modes to present clearer visuals than the original release. Loading times have also been significantly reduced, making transitions between menus and levels faster and enhancing overall flow. The addition of the Star-Crossed World expansion introduces new stages and story content, providing fresh gameplay rather than purely technical upgrades. It's an amazing feat when you watch how the levels transform in an instant. You click a button and it instantly becomes frozen, and the effects of the ice shine and gleam with the sun, and it does look amazing. Compared to the original Switch version, the Switch 2 edition feels markedly smoother and more responsive. On Switch 1, the game targeted 30 FPS and occasionally showed performance compromises, such as lower frame rates with distant enemies and occasional dips in busy scenes. Switch 2 removes many of these limitations. The consistent 60 FPS improves not just visual smoothness, but also gameplay responsiveness, particularly in more demanding sequences. Draw distance, animation quality, and also improved, with distant objects and enemies displaying more fluid motion. However, not every limitation is eliminated. Some texture quality issues and environmental popping remain, highlighting that this is an enhancement rather than a complete remaster. The soundtrack plays an essential role in shaping the game's identity. Composed by a team of veteran Kirby composers, it blends upbeat, whimsical melodies with more atmospheric and mysterious tracks that reflect the game's changing tone. Each world features distinct musical themes that reinforce its identity, from lively urban ruins to haunting abandoned landscapes. The music adapts well to gameplay, intensifying during boss fights and relaxing during exploration. The soundtrack is widely regarded as one of the game's standout features, reinforcing emotional beats and enhancing immersion throughout the adventure. Kirby and the Forgotten Land includes local two-player co-op, allowing a second player to join as Bandana Waddle Dee. This mode is accessible shortly after the introduction and can be toggled at most points in the game. Co-op is designed to be approachable, with player 1 controlling Kirby and retaining access to the full range of abilities, while player 2 provides supportive combat using spear-based attacks. While enjoyable, the mode is somewhat asymmetric. Player 2 lacks the depth and variety of Kirby's abilities, making the experience feel more like a supporting role rather than true equal co-op. Nevertheless, it remains a fun option for casual play and adds accessibility for families or younger players. I played most of the game this way. With my younger daughter, I was the supporting role and she was the lead as playing with Kirby, but I did go back and replay the game by myself just to enjoy it and feel the full gameplay depth. Level design is one of the game's greatest strengths. Each stage is crafted with linear structure but layered with optional objectives, hidden areas and creative set pieces that reward exploration. Worlds are diverse and thematically distinct, ranging from lush overgrown plains to industrial complexes and frozen wastelands. The consistent introduction of new mechanics and gimmicks ensures that levels rarely feel repetitive. Puzzle elements, platforming challenges and combat encounters are carefully placed to maintain player engagement. The Star-Crossed World expansion builds on existing environments, adding new twists without dramatically altering the core design philosophy. Performance is one of the most noticeable differences between versions. The original Switch version ran at 30 frames per second, with occasional dips and technical compromises to maintain stability. On the Switch 2, the game achieves a largely stable 60 FPS, significantly improving fluidity and responsiveness across all gameplay scenarios. Resolution is higher, loading times are shorter, and visual clarity is improved across the board. While the original version remains playable and enjoyable, the Switch 2 version provides a noticeably superior experience and is widely considered the definitive way to play. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is absolutely worth playing. It successfully translates a classic 2D formula into 3D while maintaining the charm, accessibility and creativity that define the series. It offers a well-placed adventure, imaginative mechanics and strong level design, making it appealing to both new players and long-time fans. Although it's not the most challenging platformer, its accessibility Versatility and variety make it one of the most enjoyable entries in the genre. The Switch 2 upgrade delivers clear value, particularly for players who appreciate smoother performance and improved visuals. The shift to 60 FPS alone significantly enhances the gameplay experience, while the higher resolution and reduced loading times add to the overall polish. The inclusion of the Starcross World expansion further justifies the cost by offering new content rather than purely technical improvement. For new players, this is unquestionably the version to buy. For returning players, the upgrade is worth considering if you value performance improvements and want additional content, though it is not an essential purchase for everyone. Kirby and the Forgotten Land was already one of the standout platformers on the original Switch, and the Switch 2 edition refines that experience into something smoother, sharper and more complete. While the upgrade is not as transformative as some other Switch 2 enhancements, it strengthens the game where it matters most: gameplay feel, performance and overall presentation. It remains a joyful, creative and unpolished adventure, and on Switch 2 it finally runs as beautifully as it deserves. Thanks for joining us on another video. Have you played Kirby and the Forgotten Lands? Did you upgrade over to the Switch 2 edition? Will you be planning to upgrade over? Thanks for watching our video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and remember to game anywhere and everywhere.